up high, put them in the air. You sitting courtside at Madison Square. Got a view of the Brooklyn Bridge, the best city, man. You know what it is. I'm talking New York City.
So, the recordings yesterday got cut a little short because of the amount of stress I had that day. I was very, very busy. So, as far as how our weight goes and everything, the steroids had adverse side effects as far as water weight. So, I'm not looking very, very good at the moment. As you can see, I've got that pudge right there with all the visceral water retention. So I decided, I just ran 1 week, I got some good strength up, and I'm just going to stop and I'm going to PCT, and we're going to continue the growth in the insulin protocol and get back down the lean percentage that we were. So this should only take about 2 weeks once this water weight drops off. But today we've got deadlifts.
Sodium.
I mean,
690.
690 what?
Sodium.
I don't care about sodium. Sodium is not too... Wow. Shit. It's a perks when you leave your windows open. Stuff. Alright, so... stick that down there. Getting ready for the gym, guys. We got deadlifts today, so it's going to be a very aggressive workout. We're going to aim for 455, close to 500 today. Being I've got all this weight gain, up 20 pounds in 5 fucking days, strength is through the roof. So I'm a bit tired, but you know, that's an excuse again. Like I always say, we're always tired. We're always got things, stress, life that's hindering us. But fuck it, man. We've got to do this. This is a goal. This is a lifestyle. If you put your mind to it, you can accomplish anything in life. Not just getting in the gym. I feel the Humalog actually starting to kick in with me. I did 10 IUs pre-workout. Post-workout is 20 IUs. We're upping it up today. So let's get this started, guys. We got our deadlifts, sled pushes, because I feel those kind of isolate the hamstrings, hamstring curls, and stiff-legged deadlifts. 4 exercises, 2 hours to do them. Let's get going.
All right. Good morning, everybody. To start today's lower back and hamstring workout, we're doing a conventional deadlift to start. Warm up for 225 pounds and 315 pounds for our first 2 warm-up sets of about 6 reps each. Then moving on to our 3 sets of 5 to 7 here, 405 pounds on the bar, performed again for 5 to 7 repetitions to failure. Do this for about 3 sets, resting about 2 minutes in between, being this is a heavy compound as well as cardiovascular exercise. We moved on to a max rep of 495 here that will be shown. And I actually failed an attempt due to the fatigue that I had, as you can see here. Once that weight was dropped, I stripped back down to 315. We are performing now 4 sets of 10, resting 1 minute in between sets, bouncing the weight. Touch and go is what I like to call this. Therefore, we are not letting the barbell sit on the ground, really just bouncing it up and back. As you can see, while I'm performing this exercise, I am allowing my shoulders and traps to roll back and perform a retraction sort of a movement. I am standing all the way up and all the way down. I'm not bending slight. I'm not bending at the 90. I'm actually standing up straight, kind of erected at 180 degrees. So perform again 4 sets of 10, a total of 40 repetitions, rest as needed. I needed about 60 to 90 seconds approximately. I know I probably said about a minute, but depending on your cardiovascular fitness level, you may need more, you may need less. You may need more weight, you may need less weight. For me, 315 pounds was exactly right, and a good target number for me to complete this exercise. Once this was complete, I rested about 2 to 3 minutes before moving on to our next exercise that will be shown.
3 sets of 10 there with 315, and then rest. We're going to shoot for 20, taking 2 minutes of rest. So, double your rest, double your reps.
Going on to our final set here. I had rested about 2 to 3 minutes and performed one set of about 15 to 20 repetitions here, just bouncing the weight, not standing all the way up, going for kind of a set goal here that I put for myself. So I wanted 15 repetitions. I got 15 repetitions regardless if I had to put the barbell down and rest or if I was continually able to bounce it.
Holy shit. Oh, I'm just passing out. Oh my god.
After resting 2 minutes, we're now working on to our stiff-legged deadlift. 225 pounds, performed for about 10 repetitions. With this exercise, it's very important that you focus on the negative eccentric portion of the rep. As you can see here, I am slowly lowering the weight. Superset this with a hyperextension. Here I have the kind of the machine and the pad set up directly up to my torso, not any higher, not any lower, as this allows me to activate just the lower back itself, not so much the hamstrings and glute involvement, being that we are turning lower back here. I've decided to incorporate sled pushes daily into my training programs. I feel they're very cardiovascular. So here I'm warming up with just 4 plates a side. Then I moved on. I believe this is 6 or 7 plates that I pushed back and forth for about 2 rounds. 1 round is to the end of the gym floor that you can see and back to where the camera starts. That is 1 round. So I performed about 2 of these for an extra warm-up as well as getting my heart rate up. I find this is great cardiovascular as well as functional strength training, as this is kind of a full body sort of a pull. Went to a maximum of about 8 plates that I pushed for only 1 round there and back due to the amount of stress that this put on my nervous system. I still had more of a workout to do, being we were going to include shoulders, so I needed to conserve some energy in the tank. Once that was complete, I had about stripped off another plate and began pushing. As you can see, I'm kind of pre-fatiguing here, trying to get the motion in. I reduced off 2 plates and had done another 2 rounds, counted 2 rounds, so 1 round heavy, 2 rounds light, and then began stripping off until we reached targeted failure. As you can see here, I'm kind of pre-exhausted already. Moving on to shoulders here, I hopped on a shoulder machine, being this was the easy access for me. I felt that I had enough of posterior chain involvement in my lower back session that I decided to sit on the machine, being that my back kind of needed some support. So I performed about 10 repetitions each using the side handles and 10 repetitions performing the open close grip handles here. These each targeted mainly the front delt as well as traps, where I felt it the most. Moving on to our next exercise, this is a face pull, except I am leaning towards more the ground as I try to get a pretty good angle on the bench here. I performed about 10 to 12 repetitions, just a standard warm-up with about half a stack. I then moved on to the full stack here, performed for about another 10 to 15 repetitions. I felt I had a little bit more contraction on the traps as I raised my head up off the floor versus it laying completely down. If you just elevate your head about 3/4 of the way off the ground is the way I'm doing, maybe about half a foot, you can feel a lot more contraction in your traps. At least it worked for me. After 3 sets of that, we moved on to our final shoulder exercise, which was a side raise. Versus doing this close to your torso where it's near your leg, I decided to actually bring this straight forward and back towards my torso, upwards towards my chest. I felt I had most contraction here. And after that was complete, I performed a cable raise. The difference with this is that you're feeling contraction throughout the entire rep versus with a dumbbell where the contraction stops at the very top of the rep. There is constant chest tension on the shoulder, girdle, and muscle here. Moving on to our ab portion, I have about 45 pounds total on the machine, ab crunch machine, whatever you want to call this. You can rotate your torso and hit obliques as well, but for the purposes of today's trainer, I am doing just midsection, middle abs here. Perform about 15 repetitions to failure, 3 sets each. Superset this with a 30-second plank. My form is kind of off here, being you can see that my arms are a little bit farther out than most people keep them in close and tucked in. I feel this is better for my abs. After that was complete, perform about 20 to 30 bodyweight twists.